Dogs.
Wow. Brendan.
Hey, season's upon us, man.
It is. Yeah. You got the college football season rolling in. You got the NFL season coming in hot. And that brings us here to another great episode of Good Lies Golf, Brendan. We're here. We're here again. Welcome to the Good Lies Golf fans out there, the listeners, the squad. We appreciate you all for loving them.
Squad.
Great feedback. Yeah, squad. Good summer feedback, dude. We're getting some feedback. People like the personalities of this podcast in the new season. We're kind of testing out some formats. Next year, we're going to really nail down a format. We're going to have a little here and there, but yeah, this year we did good. We did a little breeze by. We had the episodes pumping. Thanks to our listeners for listening. We're not done yet, though, by the way. This is not the last episode. We're going to go at least to the Zoso, dude. Little Zozo, Zaza. You know, we'll get to there.
Yeah, in closing out the season, but no, we're not closing out the season though. We're not
closing out the PGA Tour Championship FedEx golf season. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. You got me confused. What's going on?
Well, today is the Tour Championship. Starts today. The 2023 Tour Championship, which is at Eastlake Golf Club there in Atlanta, Georgia. And there's 18 milli first place prize on the line.
First
prize. And we probably think it's going to Scottie, to be honest. I'll put my hand up and say it's probably going to go to Scottie because he's got such a fucking lead. But who knows, man? Maybe there's some other guys out there waiting to play some whack stick and get it done.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised to see old Viktor Hovland or Rory win it, honestly.
Yeah?
Yes, Scottie has got the 2-stroke advantage over, Vicky. But, anything can happen. Victor's been on a tear recently. He's been playing really well, and it kind of seems like the harder the course is, the better it is. He's been playing. And the
Very
one
valid
thing that's holding Scottie back is that putter. So if Scottie putts well, obviously, yes, 2-stroke advantage. It's pretty well in the bag. But if he putts to his standard right now, I don't know that he makes enough putts if he keeps going to his average at the moment.
Yeah, it's not wide open. You're right. I've been a little cocky saying that, but it even says CBS reported the data here. There's only 4 golfers within 5 strokes of Scheffler's lead going on to the day, which is McIlroy, Rahm, Glover, Hovland. And then there's 25 other players are down by 6 or more. And since January 1st, it says there's only been 12 instances of a golfer beating Scheffler by 7 strokes or more in a tournament. So gonna be pretty interesting, man, to see these guys battle it out. I'm excited. Spieth just teed off, I think, right now. You said Spieth just teed off.
Yeah, Spieth is off. You got a couple other guys off, Straka. But to your point, those are all guys that are well out of the mix as far as, winning the tournament. But like I said, I still think we can't count out, Rory and Victor. Rory's only 3 strokes back to start. So I think the first round is really going to determine for the most part what happens. If Scottie drops a couple, or not drops a couple, you expect him to shoot under par.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? If he just doesn't shoot as well as a couple other guys behind him, and we get even going into round 2, then you're playing 3 rounds just even golf. So it's really coming down to who's playing the best at that moment. And like I said, I think putting is going to be a major factor. Scottie's just not putted well. And, guys like Rory and, Victor's been putting really well. His short game's gotten way more improved than it had been in the past. That was the big thing for him, was his short game was no bueno. But he's been on fire this season. And Rory, he can come out and light it up and go low.
Yeah, and it's a longer course too. It's 7,319 yards. That's not short, and it's Bermuda grass green. So rollers, that's some rollers. You have to be spot on. And you got to make sure you putt well, like you said, like those lightning fast greens. You got guys like Xander, Tommy Fleetwood, Straka, like you just mentioned. Those are guys that are incredible on putting Bermuda grass. So we'll see how that kind of works out with those guys in that favor and them putting in some chips. But you're right. It's in terms of winner, a little bit different.
It's definitely interesting, especially if you're like doing DraftKings or something like that, because to your point, realistically, there's only 3 guys that really have a chance to win this thing, right? So you have to determine, well, is it going to be Scottie outright because he's got that two-stroke lead, or are you picking a lineup that's based on Rory or Victor? And then you got to really find the guys that you think are going to make a major jump, right?
Right.
So like maybe like a Russell Henley who's starting pretty far at the bottom of the pack, but
He
he's
could
been
be a sleeper today.
lighting up
Yeah.
lately. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a Georgia boy too,
And
you
his
know what I
putting
mean?
is fire. So
Yep.
that watch out for his putting. These Donald Ross designs are known for having those sloped greens. So if you're a good putter and you can make it happen, as long as you can get there, man, it's kind of like you said, that bottom of the leaderboard, all that cash being floated around, that's all
Yeah,
for
those are the
grabs.
guys you're looking for. Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Oh
are
yeah.
the guys you want to pick because there's only three at the top. So it's how you fill in the rest of that lineup.
Guess who's number one in the field with par fours that are 450 to 500 yards?
Who we got?
Vicky Hovland. And guess what? Five of the par fours at Eastlake are between 450 and 500 yards.
I mean, it could be. I mean, did this not happen last year? Scottie, he had the stroke or two-stroke lead going into the tournament last year, and who ended up winning?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rory, right? So I don't know, man.
We'll see. And then you got some like guys that are down. I mean, what about the Donald Ross guys? Like there's guys that play Donald Ross courses good. Again, Xander. Not only does he putt well on Bermuda, he's been having a killer season and he's doing the Donald Ross design. He's up there. He loves Donald Ross designs. So he's third in the field. So I think that
Yeah.
that's serious. And you got guys like Siwoo Kim, Sunjae Im, all love Donald Ross courses. You got Tom Kim out there that's been lighting it up that could play really well on this kind of course. So I don't know, man. It's going to be really fun to watch for the weekend. I'm excited. I know you're
Yeah,
excited.
for sure, man. For
It's going to
sure.
be a big show.
This is
But
a big show.
hey, the big
Get
show.
your
You know what I'm saying?
popcorn.
Hey, how you doing? Get the popcorn, get the candy. How you doing? Yeah, okay.
How you
Uh,
doing? How you doing?
Brendan, you did some
Yes,
golf
sir.
aside, switching gears from the tour championship because yes, PGA pros are cool and like, the tour professionals are cool, but like
Let's talk about real
99%
golf.
of golfers in the world aren't as good and don't give a shit about that. So, Brendan, what did you golf this weekend, sir? What did you shoot? First of all, started off with what you shot without explaining.
All right. Well, 61.
Front nine.
No, 18 holes. I
No
mean,
explanation. Okay, yeah.
well, you told me not to.
I said without lying.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. It was a
Wow.
team event.
Oh, it was a scramble. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was a
got it.
scramble. A
Right. You
scramble.
had the
So
fantasy draft scramble tournament
yeah, it
thing
was a
going
big
on.
day, man. It
Big
was a
day.
big day.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So how I mentioned before, me and a bunch of my boys that I grew up with, we do a fantasy football draft every year, right? So we typically play at Hickory Woods before we do a little 18, and then head over to our commissioner's house, do some cornhole, Beersby, and then we do a live draft. So it just so happened this year that a number of the guys that are in our league belong to the Oasis, right?
Yeah.
Where my dad, the
Right.
gamer, belongs, right? And they were hosting a scramble that day. So we were able to just kind of join that, and we used that as like our fantasy draft, pre-draft event, and broke up into multiple scramble teams. And so we had, we were trying to win the scramble as a whole, but we were also all trying to beat each other, that sort of thing. So it ended up being awesome. I believe the scramble was actually, so it was being hosted. It was a charity event. It was called Do It for Jack, which was, this guy named Jack ended up passing away from a fentanyl overdose. So pretty tragic, but I didn't realize we were actually playing for a charity event. I thought it was just like, member guest scramble. We're just
Right.
doing this until we got there. So that was pretty cool that we were, doing something to give back to that because, we know that's a pretty tragic thing that's going on all
It's
across
an
the country. So
epidemic across the country. It's
yeah,
the largest there is. I think over 119,000 people died last year from opioid overdose. Crazy.
yeah, it's terrible. But with that being said, I mean the outing was awesome. Our team got off to a roaring start, so it was Amos, Cody, Travis, and myself. And
Wow,
I
that's a
think,
squad.
dude, we played really well, and we even left some golf out there. Like me personally, if I was playing my own score, I would not have scored well that day. I'm still struggling to get off the tee, but like I would say, and I was pretty proud of how I played from like 100 or 90 yards and in. I knocked down a number of putts for our group, so like I was able to bring that to the table,
Right.
where I
You didn't feel
wasn't
like a
getting off the
useless bag
tee.
of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hit a couple nice little wedges to get us in that we used and shit like that. But yeah, I mean the rest of our squad was awesome, dude. We were constantly playing out of the fairway. We had multiple chances at birdies, and there were even just a couple that we just missed, that we could have knocked down. But it was super fun, man. Like there were a number of things you could buy into, like move up to the next tee on one hole, play out of the or tee it up if it's in the fairway. So you had to start like thinking about like strategically what holes made sense to like use that on and like to give yourself the best opportunity. So it was like games within games. It was kind of like some
That's really cool. Yeah. Like,
inception shit.
Who Wants to Be a
Um,
Millionaire? They gave you lifelines.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Phone a
So,
friend. Phone Zach. Let
um,
him tell you about your lie right now and tell you how to get out of it.
right. But yeah, dude, it was it was sweet. It was a lot of fun. It was a great way to get going for the draft. And our team, I think, so we shot a 61, and then there was also handicaps involved. So I think our team as a whole were given like 9 strokes. There were some teams that were given like 15 plus strokes, which ultimately those are the teams that ended up winning. Obviously, like even if you weren't being given strokes and played really well, like those teams are already getting strokes on you. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So I think we ended up finishing with those handicap strokes involved like 20 under. The team that won was 25. So,
Not
we
bad.
were
Yeah.
we were up there. And honestly, all the guys, all our teams that were part of the fantasy draft played pretty well. I think there were a number of us tied at 20. And I think the team that won was at 21 or something like that, or
Wow. So
23.
very close
So
for you guys
yeah.
intercompetitively. It was very close.
Yeah. So
That's
it was it
exciting.
was it was sweet. It was sweet. And you could follow like on an app too while it was going on, so you kind of had some idea of like where you stood with holes to go or whatever. So that
We
was
know an
pretty
app.
sick. But
We know an app that came
we
out
know an app.
recently
Here we
called
go.
Only Golfers. That we love those boys down at Only Golfers. Download that app out of the App Store right now. Check it out. It shows you tournaments. I think it's mainly West Coast based for the moment because they're doing a lot of tournaments on the West Coast. But it's like a social media app. You have your own little profile. You can follow your friends who golf. You can check on their scores, how they shot. It's a whole little thing. So definitely check out Only Golfers. That's a great app. We love those guys. Their social media is awesome, and we love what they're doing. They're bringing tournaments to communities that don't normally have, all these golf tournaments. They're hosting tournaments. They're interacting with all of these different groups of golfers and different brands. It's a really exciting thing they're doing. So shout out to Only Golfers. Shout out to those boys. They're crushing it.
Oh yeah, man. Nice
Yeah,
little plug, man. But
little
yeah,
plug
we
for
mean
them.
it. We mean it. But yeah, I mean, absolutely support that shit. I love. I mean, as much as I love like playing by myself and playing my own ball and stuff like that. I mean, it's so fun to do scrambles and shit. Like, cause you're
It
kind of
is.
you're catting for one another, and it's just like fun to like really think through the process of like where you need to put a ball and get it in the best position versus like you just shitting on yourself because you get a little less pressure. You know what I mean? That's how
100%.
I felt. I mean, hitting poor shots off the tee constantly, it can be so frustrating when you're scoring yourself. But like, during that scramble, if I hit a good one, sick. And if I didn't, it's like, yeah, whatever. Someone else will put it up
Right. You
there.
get redemption. You're like, okay, I can wipe that
Yeah.
off because this next shot is like a
Yeah.
fresh
On to the next
slate.
one. And it's like, fuck, dude, if I'm not hitting well off the tee, so be it. All I got to focus on really then is, 90 yards and in, hit nice little wedges and putt.
For me, like
Yeah.
me, I shine in scrambles because you know me, I can't hit it further than 180 yards off the tee on average. So
Yeah.
for me, I can't drive to save my life. So, but I can chip and I can putt. So For me, scrambles, I'm built for a scramble. So body by scramble here. If anybody needs a scramble partner, call your boy. I'll be out there.
Speaking of putting, dude.
Ooh, what'd you get? You got a new
yeah.
item here?
So a little story, right?
Oh.
So I went to I was doing some errands, doing a little bit of housework, hit up Home Depot. I was on the way back, and I was passing by a Play It Again Sports.
Don't know if we'll have enough time.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. Bed Bath and Beyond. But yeah, so like I was running by and I saw Play It Again Sports. I was like, fuck, dude, I haven't been in one of these in a minute. I wonder like what golf shit they have. You know, someone might
What
have
sports? What was it?
Play It Again Sports. You never heard of these? Well,
No,
probably
Play
not.
It
You're
Again
from New York,
Sports.
Long Island. It's like a little store that you can bring like old or used sports equipment and stuff like that. So like you
Oh,
can go in there and get super cheap shit.
oh,
You
that's
know,
cool.
it's a great place to pick up like weights and stuff. You know, people just drop off dumbbells. You can get them, you know, for whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I go in there. I'm like, wonder what kind of golf stuff they have. Maybe some dumbass like dropped off a Scottie Cameron or something like that, and I'll get it for $30. It didn't happen. Would have been sick. But I go in there and I'm peeking around, and I found a little putter that I was like, oh, this would be cool for like a novelty item, right? Well, I got it, and I was like, fuck it, man. I think I might play with this and just fuck around and see, whatever. I look like Jack Nicklaus out there because it's short, and I'm like hunched over.
Is it wooden?
I mean, no, but it's just super short. And well, with that being said, I just dropped this thing. With that being said, dude, I was putting pretty fucking lights out with it. So I think I'm adopting this
Light
motherfucker.
it up. Let's see it. Show the
Yeah.
camera, dude. What you got?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Let me know if you can see this. So it's Played Against Sports. So they also had a bin, right, of just like head covers, anywhere from like $2 to like 13. Found this little thing, $5, man. This little, look at this. It's got like some
Solid.
it's got like corduroy.
Lush red carpet on the
Yeah,
inside.
dude. Yeah, so $5, man.
God just won a film festival. He's out there.
And then here we go. I don't know if you can see this. You see that?
Wow, look at that blade. That
Dude,
thing is like a Happy Gilmore.
Dude, it's an old blade, heel shafted putter. And get this, man. Harvey Pennick. It's his, dude.
Get out.
That's a Harvey Pennick putter, man.
Oh, you're about to put lights out for the rest of your life with that. That's a steal.
Take dead aim. Harvey Pennick putter, man.
That's love dope. That.
Yeah, dude. So I've been ripping this for 2 rounds. I haven't been hitting the ball well, but I've been rolling the ball.
Maybe you found your magic, dude. The little Harvey Pennick fucking putter.
Dude, I mean, if there was one thing I could say I did well during that scramble was I felt really fucking good about my putting. And I knocked down a couple big ones, one of which was even a mulligan. So, like, we used one of our mulligans because we needed to make a birdie, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, we had all gone. I had hit my first putt and just scraped the lower lip. The lower lip. You know what I mean? Just scraped it. And
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. All right. But yeah, so we had to use a mulligan, and dude, it was actually pretty funny because I was like, all right, guys, like, what do you think? You know, like we saw my first putt. The pace was there. It just, stayed a little low. Didn't get in the hole. So what do you guys think? Like, just hit it a little bit harder. Keep that same line. Yeah. All right, so I get up the ball, barely tap it, knock it down, walking off the green. And I'm just like, yeah, to be honest, I didn't do anything of what we said. I just I aimed a little higher, hit the exact same putt I did the first time.
I can't listen to putting advice, man. When people are like, oh, you got to hit it over here and this, I'm like, no, I'm just going to putt it because I have a good feel for putting and I'm just going to hit it. I'm just like, that's the years and years and years of mini golf instilled in me. I'm like, you're not going to predict this like weird loop thing and like this next turn right, but I'm going to aim it right there and it's going to go in the right spot. Like that's the mini golf in me that I'm like, I can't from childhood. I can't knock that. I'm like, I got to trust my instinct. There's some things you can read and I'm sure on hard courses, there's like crazy undulation and crazy like turns. And I'm sure when I golf a real course with a real caddy, I'll appreciate the insight. But when I'm on a public course, with a bunch of degenerate assholes, I'm not listening to what you're saying. I'm just gonna fucking do my putt and try to aim for the hole and see what happens.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can understand that. You're a feel guy, right? Okay.
Feel guy.
It's funny you bring up like putt mini golf though, because like this thing is so small and it's like it's it's a little it's not a mallet with a blade putter. So it kind of brings me back to that childhood feel of just get out there and like don't overthink it. Just
Have fun. Putt it.
step up, punt to the picture.
Well, that was all Harvey's spiel. That was his whole shtick was, just get out there and relax and calm your mind, have fun and remember that the game of golf is in the end a game and not this big serious thing that we all try to get mad at ourselves at every day or try to get mad because we're not good or get mad because we're not getting better. It's not about that. It's about getting out there, smelling the air, feeling the sunshine hitting you, birds chirping, little beer, cracked beer, little lemonade if you're not a drinker, little
strawberry
some of that
right there,
and that's what it's about. Just getting out there, having a day, as Bobby Berger would say it. Just having a day, That's it.
Dude, shout out to Bob. That guy is hilarious.
Oof. Yeah, Bob does sports, man. Holy shit. Robbie stepped his game up, man. Holy cow. I remember we followed him when he was had 5,000 followers. And now he's one of the biggest sports entities out there.
It's a personality, man. He's got personality. He's lovable.
Lovable guy. And his team is amazing too. I mean, come on. Fat Perez, Joey Coldcuts, like his whole squad, fire.
For sure.
Bear down. Sure. Like they're all the shit. Those guys are legit.
They're just missing a Sherm.
What?
They're missing Sherm.
Yeah, they're missing a Sherm, but it's okay. We all can't have some luscious red-haired guy spewing stuff up there. So, I don't blame them. It's hard to come by.
It's like where does the chest mane and the hair not become
it just intertwines
it
here.
Looks like it is.
Yeah, it just looks like a carpet. It's all the same here. It just intertwines in. Yeah, it's pretty serious. Pretty serial.
Pretty serious.
As Al Gore would say, it's pretty serial.
Pretty serial.
Yeah, but golf. I'm excited to get out there next week. I'm actually going to Atlantic City this weekend for a bachelor party. So we're staying at the Tropicana, doing a little gambling, and then we're having a table for Steve Aoki. We're getting a table for the DJ, Mr. Steve Aoki himself.
Are you gonna get pied?
Yeah, might get pied. And then we're going out there and we're just going to do a little gambling. You know me, I'm throwing everything on Red 19, bet the whole house. That's what I'm going to do. Just Red 19 until I either lose all my money or take out a, $40,000 credit advance. So at 78% APR. So we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. And we're looking forward to it. Yeah, it's me and my buddy Al, who's one of my best friends from childhood. And he's an NYPD. Al Roker. Yeah, no. My buddy Al Salvatore, and he's a New York City police officer. So I'm going with 10 cops and me and one of his other buddies, I think, from childhood and his brother. So it's a squad. We're going to see.
Squad. That's awesome. So you guys may or may not hit the sticks?
No, I don't think we're going to do some golfing. That wasn't really on the agenda. I don't think those guys really golf. Maybe I could be wrong. I could be speaking out of play here. They are cops, so I would assume they golf. But I don't know, man. I don't know if they're big golfers, but we'll see. Maybe they'll hit a little. Maybe in the morning we wake up and get a little round in somewhere in Jersey. I don't know.
Ooh,
bring the clubs.
Right. That sounds good. Yeah. I don't know where I'll be playing, but I got to get out somewhere. Got to hit the sticks or something.
Yeah,
I was thinking about calling and getting another one of my lessons in, but it decided to open up the sky today and rain. So.
Yeah. We're looking a little gloomy out here today too. A little gloomy weather here. Little clouds hanging over the northeast, Middle East here. The Middle East.
Yeah. You're the Middle East.
No, that's what I call you guys. You're the Middle East because you're not technically. You. Every time I go to Ohio, you're like, it's not the Midwest. It's not really the Midwest. So what is it? It's the Middle East.
Who said that? I've never said that.
I don't know. All you Ohio kids are afraid to call yourselves the Midwest.
Everyone says that, man. All you guys
no, man, that's Indiana. You're like, it's the same thing, dude. It's right next door.
You're just spewing bullshit right now,
Good.
dude.
Yeah, I'm spewing that East Coast. I live next to an ocean. Fuck you, bullshit. That's what
Dude,
I'm spewing.
speaking of
You landlocked
the
pigs.
United States, dude, did you see like Kansas or something? Somewhere in Kansas is reporting like 136 degrees or something like that. It's like nearly the hottest recorded place on Earth.
Yeah, I saw the tires melting. This dude was driving his Jeep and his tires were just melting on the asphalt as he was driving. Like he couldn't even drive the car because the tires were melting.
That's insane. How
But we've been
far
here
would a
before, dude.
golf
Climate
ball
change
fly
isn't
though?
real, dude. You know, like whatever, man. Like whatever they say, dude. It's warmer, hotter. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
but I'm
screwed.
just wondering like how far you could hit a drive there. How would that affect the golf ball?
Toasting.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna get out though. I maybe a little Elks. Maybe I'll look at a little Elks session.
Elks would be nice. I'm going to try to get a little Sag Harbor in because I haven't been there in a while. So I'm going to try to get some Sag Harbor golf in. It's my little 9-hole local muni. I love it. And it works on your game because the greens are this big. They're little tiny, tiny, tiny greens. And there's a whole lot of woods and high grass. So you got to be accurate. I wish we would have went there. That would have been a good course. But
Hey, we'll get back out there
we'll
for
get
sure.
back out and get out there.
Uh,
Well, I'm coming
speaking
to
of
you
which,
next month, Brendan. We're golfing.
come
Get ready,
on
Bubba.
down.
We're
Let's
golfing.
go.
Remember, I'm coming out
I'm gonna
to
be.
the
Oh
Bourbon
yeah,
and I'll have one
that's
day
gonna
overlap,
be
I think, where you're going to be there.
right. We
So we should
just
try to get
overlapped
after
a
it.
lot of words together. Um, yeah, because I'll be in Scotland, and I think I'm coming back right when you're around
Mm-hmm.
town. Bring it around town.
Might have to do a little golfing.
We will. Yo,
Talk to me.
Fantasy football is coming up, man.
We'll end our chatter with the fantasy football chatter here for the guys. For the guys, for the Good Lies Golf Squad, we'll talk about fantasy here.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking about it because that's what we were talking about, right? We had a little draft day, scramble. So led into the draft. Went over to the commissioner's casa. You got a new place. Actually, hilarious. So Amos, right, grew up next to AP Adam, uh, the brownie. Brownies is how
The
you
infamous
think of
brownie
him.
guy from
Yeah,
the
brownie guy.
2021 tournament.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Apple Valley tournament. Um, so they grew up right next door to each other, and we spent a lot of time at those guys' house growing up because we all played sports together. So like after baseball or something, we go back there play wiffle ball at Amos's
Right.
house. He had a pool. Um, so years later, now the commissioner Joey actually bought Amos's old house. So,
Huh,
so that's where we had our draft. Is like we went
what a
back
trip.
there,
Full circle.
and the funny thing about it too is, and you have to think about how they feel. So Adam's parents still live in that house next door. So now they have their son's friend from growing up living in that same house, which is pretty
That must
funny.
be a trip for them. Yeah, like walking out on the barbecue, seeing your son's friend. You're like, fuck, I'm
Yeah,
old.
yeah,
They probably
yeah.
think, damn, I'm old, man. Like this is
Oh
weird.
man, that's mad funny. But yeah, so we played a bunch of cornhole. Man, Gary and Newberry, they probably won like 15 games. They went unbeaten until Cody and I finally on like the sixth attempt took them down.
I propose, I'm officially
Yes, sir.
proposing this
Yes,
live
sir.
on the pod. You give me your best 4 Ohioans and our best 4 New Yorkers in cornhole. We will dust the floor with you.
Okay.
We will dust you guys to oblivion.
Okay.
I already know my 4.
You know the game. Well, that's the thing. I don't because we're all so good.
Oh, see, yeah. Good luck.
Oh, well, I know the four that would beat you because there's only four guys that know what cornhole are is in New York. Dude, it was started here, bruh.
Whatever, dude. Kevin Bacon and shit dancing on tractors. You guys can keep your fucking weird traditions. It's okay. I think that was Indiana or South Dakota.
Dude, he
Forgive me.
broke the mold, man.
Whatever, dude.
Broke the mold.
Don't even try it.
He brought joy back
I'll
to that
Patrick
town.
Swayze your fucking throat right out of your chest, dude. Let me tell you something.
You've never even watched the whole full length Roadhouse movie. with all the bonus tracks and everything, man. You never watched that.
Probably not.
All the bloopers.
No,
Guess
I've
what?
only seen
There
it on
weren't
TV with
any.
14,000
Patrick
commercials. That's
Swayze
longer than the movie.
doesn't blooper. Okay, there were none. There are no bonus tracks. I'm just talking about the regular movie.
The whole movie's a bonus track.
That was actually his real life.
That was his actual life. Yeah, that was a documentary about Patrick Swayze's life. Yeah.
That was a true Hollywood story.
It was the greatest and worst acting performance of all time. And I don't know how you can like
acting.
Yeah, it was like a Chuck Norris, like it's so
they just
good,
dropped
but he's not
him.
acting.
They blindfolded Swayze, dropped him in that town, and just that was what happened.
Wait, can we, before we leave this podcast, we need to mention that Steven Seagal has a dancehall reggae song, and the intro words are "Me want the punani." Did you see this? I'm not kidding you, guys.
And it's a banger.
It's a banger. If you want to laugh today really hard, please download Steven Seagal's dancehall reggae track off one of his albums. I don't know which one it is. Just Google Steven Seagal very offensive dancehall track. It probably will come right up. And he starts the song with "Me Wanda Punani," and he starts like going into this like patois mixed pidgin reggae shit. And I don't know what was on his mind that day or what he thought was going to be okay with that track, but Lord, it is hysterical. Please go listen to it. It makes my day.
Dude, that shit, I did see that, and it's fucking hilarious.
God. Between the bullshito and that stuff, man, I don't know how that guy lives.
Dude's a cop. Or what? He's probably retired now.
I've been a helicopter pilot 45 years. Tom Segura's skit, hysterical. Oh, I've been an expert on everything for 45 years.
Oh,
classic.
Man, that's mad funny. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, man, if you want to laugh, get after that today. That's a good vibe. But yeah, B, what else? What else we got before we end it out? Is that it? What do we got? Another episode next week. We'll follow up with who won the tournament. We'll follow up with some tourney for next week. And then we still got the big tourneys coming up. There's some big ones in October that are fun. Like we said, the Zozo's sick. Great. Xander, I think, is going to win that. I'm already calling it early. He's committed.
Why's that? Why is that?
Because he's committed and he's nasty at that course. I think that's his shit. I think that's his game, is that course. So I really think
sold.
Xander's on it. Call it early right now. Get your bets in now, dude. A month early. Get your bet in now. Xander Schauffele. You heard it here first.
Dude, no, I'm really looking forward to, and just this is a ways away, but now you got me thinking about future. The TGL, right? Like the virtual golf tournament, dude.
That's gonna be a little
forward to that. That's gonna be
a
awesome.
Little new thing going on. Yeah, all these new things they're popping out with.
I'm excited about it. I think that's going to be revolutionary.
And then what about like the live situation? Like we're going to see that mold too in the next year. I mean, that's going to change up a little bit. We'll see everything moving on from that. There's going to be changes, updates. They're going to incorporate them together. It's going to be a big season next year.
Speaking of which, talk about live Ryder Cup, right? So, question's been out there: is Brooks Koepka going to be on the Ryder Cup team? Did you see how that got asked to Scheffler?
No, I didn't see it. What'd he say?
So, I mean, he basically broke it down. He didn't say this, but in my opinion, it seemed like he was like, yeah, you should be on it. He was basically like, well, from a money standpoint, he was like $30,000 shy of like automatically making the team from a accumulated money standpoint. And if he had played just one tournament on tour, then he would have easily made that $30,000. So like
they boxed him out.
That's what he said. He just basically went. So yeah, I mean, I think those guys at this point are just kind of like, dude, like, yeah, like they're the best. He's the best golfer.
Like whatever. I figured these guys don't even care anymore. Like now that they've merged, I feel like the caring has gone out the window. Like, yeah, originally it was like, oh, stand your ground and we're the PGA. But now it's like all bets are off. Everybody's merging. Who cares? Now all these guys are like, okay, we tried and this is it. We can't be be the turd in the punch bowl forever. This is it.
Yeah. The only guys that still care are the ones that like had shit said to each other or about one another.
That were back and forth. Hey,
yeah.
But if DeChambeau and Koepka can become friends, anything can happen. Because I thought that was for sure a lifelong rivalry. So if that can happen, if those two can come together, I think you can see some guys. I think you can see some guys come together. A little
Well,
kumbaya.
yeah, I mean, you can bond over $100 million and some party favors for sure.
Absolutely. Hey,
And that
that's
makes
why
it a
our
little easier.
boy Harold Varner, man, was honest from the jump. He said, you know what? I'm doing it for the money because I need to have a better life for my family, for my kids, for everything, for the foundation he runs. Shout out to the Harold Varner Foundation. They're doing great things, hosting tournaments all over, accessible golf and everything else. Trying to make golf more accessible for people. Shout out to them, man. And I appreciate Harold's honesty from square one. That's why I've never had a bad word to say about the dude. Shout out.
HV3 is sweet, man.
Legend.
One of the better long par 3 players we have.
Yep. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him going throughout the next year too, man. He's on fire.
Oh
So
yeah, I know. I've missed being able to see as much of him.
Yeah. All right, B. That concludes another episode of Good Lies Golf for the week. We're Audi 5000, my friend. Any other closing notes you'd like to say while the intro music is playing, the outro music?
No.
Okay, then. All right, we're just going to let the music play out. Shout out to Adam Marr Surf Shop for always providing the dope lids. Adam Marr is a pretty decent golfer himself. We're going to get out there and mic him up. We're going to do a little fun session going on soon, so stay tuned for that.
That would be dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to Oasis. Thank you for the scramble. Do it for Jack.
Do it for Jack. All right, B.
Later, brother.